Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Dima Mousseli, winner of the Silver Award at the MENA Content Creator Awards, 1.1 million followers. She was also hosting that event, by the way, and from her hilarious alter egos to the content that has everyone talking, Dima's here to share the story behind it all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the beautiful introduction, Casey. That was really nice. Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's my first time with Lovin Dubai. I'm super excited.
Congratulations on the award.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
So what was going through your mind when your name was announced? Especially being already on the stage.
I was shaking. I was thinking, don't cry. You ruin your makeup. You ruin your mascara. And if you don't win, Dima, stay cool because you're on stage. You know, you can't have a loser sad face. So, you know, Joey's favorite line is like, so I was practicing this in my head. Like, okay, you're not going to win. It's fine. But yeah, I won.
Oh,
super cool.
Did you expect to win or you
Honestly, I kept having mixed feelings because I was really... The names I had in my category were really great names and amazing comedians and, you know. So I was like, oh, you know, what are my chances? So I kept having mixed feelings. But yeah, we made it.
Who was it? So it was the alter ego category.
Yeah. I wish it was I wish it was an easier category because every time my dad was like, Baba, remind me again, what was the category? So it was the alter ego social persona.
So what does that mean? It means...
No idea. No, I'm joking. So basically the person who, according to Brand Rippler, you know, you keep having different personalities online.
Yeah, right.
So 1 minute I'm a mom, then I'm a sister, then I'm a teenager, blah, blah, because of all the comedy skits.
And can you tell people when you started that journey?
Yeah, of course. COVID, you know, thanks Corona.
COVID, wow.
I had a full-time job with one of the biggest media houses in Dubai. I've been with them for years. I was on the other side of the table. And then COVID happened. Work was not very busy. We were at home. We were bored. So I started doing some videos. First, it was pure mommy and daughter. I had my Bella. She was 1.5. And then my friends were like, you know what, you can do a little bit more than just mommy and daughter. So I shared my first comedy skit and I was terrified. And then overnight, I gained like 20, 30K followers.
Wow.
I had people from school, from university messaging me saying, hey Dima, we found you online. Is this you? And I was like, okay, this is worth thinking about. And I started doing more and more and more videos. And after 1 year, I quit my full-time job, and this became my bread and butter.
So what was your first viral video? What was it about?
It was about comparing Arabs and Europeans when you have a baby. Because it was an experience that I went through. I had both in my kids. They were born in Canada, and hospital nurses, visitors, everything is completely different. So I compared two different opposite worlds, and it went viral.
Going viral comes with pros and cons. You grow followers, but you also get some comments. How do you feel getting all sorts of comments? Like, how do you respond to your audience?
I mean, I do have thick skin in general. I mean, I don't think you can do this unless you have thick skin, because some comments can really get you mad. Some people can be really, really angry and hurtful. At the beginning, it was a shock. I was like, what? Why would anyone say this to me, And then more and more hateful comments coming down the journey, you just get used to it. But some comments do get you if they're like really personal, or if they're about your kids, or they're just hurtful for no reason. They do get you. Unless it's someone criticizing your content, saying, oh, what a horrible video, I hate it, you're not even funny. That's fine. But saying something a bit more, about the way you look, about your kids, about it, just hurtful. For no
people
reason.
hiding behind the screens.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. You must be really sad to say something to a stranger like this.
Do you ever respond to them?
I try to always not to, and I try not to delete comments, because I feel it affects your credibility, because you can't have all, amazing, beautiful people cheering for you. You need to have some negative comments. But when it's something about my kids or about my husband, I feel like, you know what, I'm going to delete that, because it's not just about me, it's about my family as well. Yeah.
And have you ever posted a video that received some backlash, maybe? Like,
Yes. Yes, I have. I mean, I've been lucky, to be honest, with my followers. Majority of the comments are really nice and people are supportive and they've been with me. Like when I see comments about, oh, when you were pregnant with Dame, I remember when, like, they remind me of stuff that I forgot. So it feels like we built a journey together. So that's really beautiful. But, you know, it's normal. You know, you can't please people all the time. And sometimes the comments make me realize, like, you know what, they're probably right. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have done that. So you learn from your own mistakes.
is it because about the culture or stereotypes or like the city?
Sometimes it is about that. And sometimes I push my luck and I push my limits. Because, you know, comedy is about that. Comedy is about...
True.
Yeah. And sometimes when you do dark comedy, you piss people off. You say things that they know it's true, but they don't want anyone to rub it in their faces.
They don't want to admit it.
Yeah, so it's a mix of everything, really.
Yeah, it's so interesting seeing the growth that you've had, which has been phenomenal over a relatively short period of time. Over 1.1 million followers on Instagram. I follow a lot of mum bloggers, but they haven't had your growth.
Oh, thanks. Oh.
So what would you attribute your success to? And I mean this in terms of like, how can someone else reach the 1 million sphere, which is kind of like iconic?
Yeah, I think keeping it real, really, and just sharing relatable content and because you know people want to feel that they're heard, they're seen, especially for moms. You know, majority of moms, they're exhausted, they're full-time workers, they go back home at 6 or 7, they're tired, they don't want to open their Instagram and be bombarded with perfection. And we do love to see that every now and then, but sometimes if you want to see people suffering like you, people, you know... Relatable. So I feel, especially at the beginning, I think for me as a mom, that what brought moms closer to me, because they were like, okay, so she's also struggling with her kids. Okay, she's also doing that by herself. She's sharing more relatable and real stuff, honest. Yeah. True.
So you create like personas and characters on your page most of the time. So are they usually based on personal experience or they're just skits that are scripted?
They're a mix of everything, really, like childhood traumas, real life stuff, friends around you. It's just inspiration from life and some people who have, you know, had a great influence on me growing up.
So I saw that you created multiple skits about moms.
Yeah.
So does your mom ever watch that? And what's her opinion?
Unfortunately, my mom passed away when I was 16, which I feel had a major influence on the stuff that I do, because many of the videos I do about, you know, growing up with your mom and sharing stories with your mom, and I never had that. I wasn't lucky enough to have that. So I feel that what pushed me more and, you know, helped me create more stuff using my imaginations or stories I heard from my dad. So that was a big, like, it was a pushing element. Habibti, thank you. Thank you.
We were talking before you joined the show, maybe you saw our first story of the day is about kids and devices.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we'd love your mom's take on this, because apparently kids have devices from the age of 3. What? That's the average age in Abu Dhabi for kids to have their first devices. So we're putting
iPads.
iPads, whatever, these things. So what would you say as a mom is like the fair time for kids to have devices?
It is scary, right? It's you know, being online is absolutely scary. I mean, look, we need to have some screen time every now and then. Like in our household, we try to avoid that as much as possible. But let's get real. Sometimes it's you know, it's really difficult to entertain when both parents are busy. Kids also have a very busy schedule. Like my daughter, she's almost 7. She goes to school from 8 to 4. She comes back home. Okay, she finished homework, she finished food, whatever. She needs to have some screen time. She needs to know what the other kids in class are talking about, what shows, whatever. But always make sure it's supervised. And I think 3 is a bit insane. I mean, look, I hate judging other parents. I feel like every house have their own rules and own, you know, reasons for doing whatever they're doing. But we always need to make sure it's supervised, and because the stuff you can see online is just terrifying, really.
And are your kids, do they feature in your social media? And if so, are they aware of how popular they are?
My daughter is becoming more aware. She's like, so am I famous? Do people know me? Because we get some people saying, hi, Bella, blah, blah. She's like, how did they know my name?
Wow.
My son is 3.5. He's got no idea what's going on. I don't bring them with me on comedy skits just because, you never know. And I feel it's a lot of pressure. But they do come up on stories just every day, eating, laughing, like no pressure at all. Where just filming them as a mom. And sometimes for branded content, if it's about kids and if it's, easy to do, because I feel it's a lot of work. I don't know how some moms are doing full-time with kids online. That's, well done, because it's a lot of work. And kids are kids, if they're tired, if they don't want to do it, so I try to avoid doing stuff with them as much as possible, unless it's just spontaneous stuff. Yeah.
And what do you hope for your aspirations in terms of the page? Like, do you kind of have a vision board? Do you manifest?
I do, and I've always, since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to have my own show. So now everyone is doing podcasts. I really want to do a podcast, but at the same time, I want to do something, something with a purpose, something that aligns with what I believe in. So I'm taking more time to just make sure I do something that's 100% me. So yeah, my ultimate dream was to have my own show and to give back somehow, to have a meaningful, so yeah, that's on the plan.
Crossed.
Hopefully, yes.
So exciting.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
So with 1.1 million followers comes a lot of fans.
Yeah.
أكيد. And have you ever received like a funny DM or weird DM from fans?
Yeah.
Like what, can you share a few?
I do share sometimes. Like for a long period, people thought for some reason that my dad is my husband and that I'm married to like a sugar daddy who's my dad. And like, oh, that's gross. Your husband can be your dad. I'm like, he is my dad. Because my husband doesn't come on social media. He doesn't really like it. He doesn't even know how to post a story. Like for him, it's just... Right. So yeah, he just supports, but he doesn't like to be there as much as I want him to. But my dad loves it, and he's a comedian, and I've done some really viral videos with him. So he used to come a lot on my social media, and people thought he was my husband. So that was insane.
That's crazy to think so.
Yeah, and I'm a copy paste of my dad. Like there's no way. If you see me, that's my dad. So it's so funny.
But it's so funny. But also, like, I just don't like how people just feel that they can question a choice regardless. Like, of course, it's your dad, so it's not. But like, also, how dare people even...
What if I married someone who's old enough to be my dad?
It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's a choice.
That's my decision,
Before you leave us, we want to play a quick game. It's called Firsts.
Ooh, okay.
So we run through your firsts, and you just tell us what they are.
Okay, cool.
Okay. If you want to kick it off.
First job.
First
Job.
Oh, okay. First job, a banker.
Really? Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Very far from what I do now. Yeah.
Where was that?
In Syria, back home. Yeah, I finished university in, I'm not going to say the year. And I joined this bank, and it was such a cool job. I made so many friends. I stayed there for years. It was my first, serious corporate kind of job. Yeah.
First celebrity crush.
Ooh, maybe Backstreet Boys, one of the boys.
Wow.
I'm old school like that.
Mine was, you remember Nick Carter? But Nick Carter's brother, Aaron Carter.
Yes.
I had his posters. I had
everywhere
his CDs.
inside your wardrobe. That's so funny.
No, mine was Nick Jonas and
okay.
Fair.
Yeah, and Joe Jonas, both of them. Like I'm like, sometimes I like him, and sometimes no, I
You
like
keep
him.
changing your
I
mind.
keep changing, depending on the movie and the song.
One is married now, so maybe they both are. I don't know, actually.
It's okay. No, I got over that crush.
Time is a fast.
Yeah. When I saw pictures for Backstreet Boys, they're like all married married now and they have kids. I'm like, man.
Yeah, they're a bit older now.
They are.
But we're still young, which
Yes,
is...
of course.
Okay, so first person who truly believed in you.
I'm gonna say that was my mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so sweet.
Since I was like 4 years old, I was the entertainer of the family. Like they used to put me in the middle and just to copy my aunts and my uncles and you know, to I don't know, but I think she was the first. Yeah.
I always had that skill.
And
of
actually, also my grandma from my dad's side, she always used to say, because you know, YouTubers, influencers was not a thing back then. She used to say, "You can be her," and she was putting a TV presenter. She's like, "You can be that. You can do a TV presenting." Yeah, so sweet.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
The first time you got in trouble at school.
Oh, I was naughty. I think I was. I had a crazy imagination, so I think I was like 10 years old or even younger. And they were supposed to take us to this theater at school. And they canceled the trip for some reason. And my parents knew that the trip was canceled, but I went back home and I made this whole, you know, made up story about how we went to the theater and how we took the snacks and the show. And they were like, so that was very funny, but because my son is now the same, he keeps coming up with crazy stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, I think
Oh
I had
God.
a crazy imagination, which got me into trouble for so many times.
But you're like, I've got your number.
Yeah, exactly.
So first time you got your heart broken.
Mine.
God.
I
That's a tough
remember
one.
mine if you're thinking.
Do you?
Yeah, well, I just remember I had a lot of unrequited love at a young age. You know, like notes would be passed, a note would not come back.
Oh, that's so cute.
But you know when you're like 13, it's...
Yeah, you're just, somewhere in school, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And last one, first time you were truly proud of yourself.
Truly proud of myself. It's not career related, although I've been happy with the journey and all, but I think something has to do with the kids. Like every time someone says, you know, your kids are kind or something about them, it just it gives you this like, you know, you feel like, oh, you know, you did well. Yeah, you're like, oh, I did well.
Oh, I love that. Like it's something so small, but actually it's just so meaningful because you're like, I made that. That's
like,
part of me.
I know. Like the teacher said, oh, just to let you know, Bella got this star of the week because she was super kind. And one of her friends were crying. She gave her back the candy. It's like a small little story, but it's just, you know, it gives you this feeling like, oh, my kids are good. They're kind people.
God bless them. Really.
Yeah, how
you.
amazing. And what a lovely note to end it on, because after, you know, such an amazing rise on social, but, you know, what really matters is family.
Yeah.
Dima, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure.
We look forward to when you launch your show, come back on and
Yes.
tell us all about it.
I will. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you
Enjoy the
very
rest of the
much.
show.
Thank you, Masa. And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.